have it off, but we'd like to see as many faces as we can. Because Read AI gives us a sentiment analysis, and I always like to look at that and see what engages people. Have it off, but we'd like to see and what does not. Oh my
That's
goodness.
neat.
Yeah, I love it. We've got a lot more people coming in right now too. Mackenzie has been with us for quite a while. Mackenzie likes to try out all the fun toys. I think she's probably using HeyGen as well. Are you using HeyGen, Mackenzie?
We are. You are helping
Yeah.
us make some life-saving videos, just so you know.
Awesome. So excited to hear that.
Literally, right?
Well,
Literally, that wasn't figurative. The company's name is savealife.com and it's online like CPR training.
oh, no way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Um, oops. I'm gonna remove that. Make sure we don't have a bunch of we have so many more people coming in. You are a popular guy. HeyGen is a popular topic. Thanks, Andrea. So today we usually start off our mastermind sessions with a bit of AI news. And I don't know if anybody saw the Toys R Us video, but it was the first corporate video or kind of corporate story video that was made with AI. And they used Sora. They got some early access to Sora to do that. I'm not going to show it today because we have a guest. There has been a lot in AI news. If you signed up for this webinar, you probably got the newsletter today on all the good, the bad, and the ugly that's happened, including the funny mishaps with McDonald's. There's more about it in the newsletter and on our blog. And today we are really lucky to have Devin from HeyGen. And we've been using HeyGen for some of our likenesses since last year. I made my first avatar in September, and the quality of the avatars from September to now has drastically improved. And Devon is here and he is helping to make some improvements to the product and would love to hear feedback from anybody that's using it. And also he's here to answer your questions, and he'll talk a bit about some of the new features that HeyGen is offering. But this is really meant to be a conversation, kind of Q&A. Show him what you've been using HeyGen for. So Mackenzie, if you can pull up any of the videos that we could get a sneak peek to. And anybody else that's done some HeyGen stuff, I'm pretty sure you'd be interested in seeing that, as would everybody on
For
here.
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I will go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat with you all. Just to give a quick intro on myself, my name is Devin. I am relatively new to HeyGen, actually. I've been around for about 3 or 4 months now. I am now on a very small team trying to introduce new products into HeyGen. So you might know us for our video translate tool or the instant avatars we let you create with just a couple of minutes of training video. But I'm introducing newer products for even more use cases. So on the website, you might have seen the instant highlights tool, one that we're working pretty hard on right now, and another one being the URL to ads tool, which will soon be renamed to URL to video, actually. So I'm really excited to chat with you all. I'm sure that you guys have some questions for me that I'm happy to answer as well. And I would love to show you those new tools, and maybe I can show you a demo of something else coming soon, or maybe give you a sneak peek at something. So anyways, we can get started with either me going through a couple things or some questions, or can introduce Steve real fast.
Yeah, let's definitely do that because we did want to focus on ads specifically. Of course, we
Perfect.
all love using HeyGen for all the things, and the avatars are really fun. But I think we want to know, are
Yeah.
AI generated video ads really working? Do they work? Should we use them? I know in our discussions that we had before this, I told you that we have seen some results already. But I want to have the discussion with Steve, who is our CRO guy, and he can tell you a little bit more about himself. So we'll introduce you, Steve. But that's what we want to focus on today is just besides that, also looking at what's coming up and what's new and exciting, because I think that's really important.
Sure.
So Steve, let's hear from you too.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm Steve Morrison. I work as a conversion rate optimization expert. I've got a company called Redlink Marketing that I do that through, and then I also coach with another company called Mint CRO, where we train people on this methodology. And yeah, we've been introduced to AI for quite a while, obviously, and have used it internally in our company. Mint CRO, where I kind of learned a lot of this. Originally, we've used these for ads. Just before we got on, I was letting him know, Devin, that we have used this as testing to find out if they work and quick iterations on things like that. So as Andrea mentioned, we've actually used it in some of their campaigns as well, and so there are numerous ways you can use these now. To I think Andrea mentioned or Nicole mentioned it originally. The generative AI lookalike has come a long ways, and that makes a big difference as well. People originally were very easy to tell that it was not quite there, and obviously they're getting better and better, and so I think that will make a big difference going forward. But definitely we can use these types of things in advertising, and we can maybe go into a little bit more about how some of that works a little bit later into the presentation. So
Awesome. So I guess a good place to start is just to tell you what HeyGen specifically is doing about ads. And so I want to show you a demo. Is it okay if I share my screen for a quick demo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. So, all right. Thumbs up if you can see this vacuum. Okay, awesome. So I've just pulled up a random Amazon product, and I'm basically just gonna take the link and drop it into HeyGen. So sorry, was practicing. Here's our URL to ads tool. You'll find it on the left-hand side in sequence with the other tools. You'll see it had a little new tab to find that it's new, and I'll show you some other stuff that's also new later. But I'm just gonna paste the Amazon link into here. And just to give you a sense of like what's going on while this happens, we basically realized that, as Steve and Nicole both said, avatars have gotten way better over the last couple months. Especially our avatars, we've seen improve pretty dramatically. And we realized that the only thing that's really stopping video creators, even people as particular as Steve, including as far as optimization goes, they can totally create videos with avatars if, one, the avatar is good enough, it's in the right context, and it does a lot of the kind of heavy lifting for them. And so technically, if you wanted to, previous to this tool, you could have recorded your own kind of influencer style avatar. You could have uploaded it to the studio. You could have put together all of the different elements just like we did into a template, and you could have generated this template. But what we did was take all of that hard work and streamline the process for you, so you can go from URL to video in literally a few minutes for any product, website, service, any URL. So as you saw, I just pasted the Dyson link into here, and it's basically going to give me everything from that page. So it's pulling the product description, one of the videos, and all of the product images. And just to give you guys a sense of what I consider best practices while we go through this, because it's not super obvious, there's definitely include as much video as you can. So if you have more video, you should definitely add it this way. I would try to exclude images that have a lot of white space like this. So just take those out. It's pretty easy to do. I think this one's like kind of bland as well. And once you have like a image media lineup that you're pretty excited about, you can go to the next step. All it's doing is taking that description and now trying to understand who might actually benefit from this. It's going to recommend some target audiences that you might want to include, a video language and the locale. So if I wanted to record it in English with an Australian accent, I could do that as well. And then it's going to try and generate a few different options of scripts for me. And these are built on top of proven models that have already worked in other videos. And they're fully customizable as well. So it'll give you a couple different options, one that's maybe a little bit more Gen Z-y for TikToker audiences, one that includes a narrative arc. So I'll just go with the shorter one and I'll edit it so you can see how that works as well. So the last sentence here is get yours today and see the magic in action. Brought to you by HeyGen. Save changes and next. It's super simple to edit your own script. If you want to just write your own script, you can just come into here and go into custom scripts and completely write your own script from scratch, not having to go through those extra steps. So here we are on the last step very quickly. All we're going to do here now is pick one of the templates. These are all templates that have slightly different feels from each other. You'll see that some of them include more avatars, some of them include more media, some of them are kind of a balance between the two. So for example, this full screen avatar is just the avatar the entire time. But the simple template is going to overlay some of the media that was also included. So just for sake of example, actually, I'm going to show you a couple different options here. So not only can we pick the template, we can also pick from the library of avatars that we have. These are all creators that we have licensed to work with in order for you guys to output your video 10x. So you guys can come in here and use these creators with the HeyGen tool completely inside the platform, not having to like go outside, create your own avatars. So just for example here, I'm actually going to keep it on the avatar that it's on, and you can select some music. I'm not going to select any music at this moment. And the last option here is adding captions. So you can add a purple and white caption to the top of it. And here's a feature that not many people know about that I've learned. There's a plus button up here. And not only can you go from video 1 to video 2, you can actually customize each one of these videos to have different templates and different avatars, even with the same script. So you can test all of these against each other. Once you have figured out what avatars and templates work for you, you can start to test different scripts against each other. And these are all very small variable changes away, and I'll show you how to get into that. So, okay, here's the biggest feature we just launched, literally 6 days ago. It's this customize button. So let me just get rid of these other ones here for a sec. If I go into this customize button, it actually takes me into a mini version of the studio and shows me every element that I have in the video. So this video includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of media from my selection. And I can actually go in, if this image isn't exactly cropped right, I can shorten it and make sure it's in the right position and then save it, and it'll take me back into the flow. So I'm just gonna like save it so you can see exactly what that looks like. You can add text, you can edit each element, you can make all of the kind of finer adjustments that you wanted to make, and then that will be saved here in a customized template. You can see that badge there. You can see the image is shorter as I edited there. So there's a lot of customization options that we've added. We're adding more continuously, in fact. One thing that we're very on top of right now is adding more avatars, more templates, better customization of captions, things like that, that might make the smaller differences at the end of the day. But the reality is you can do a lot in this studio. So I highly encourage you to enter the studio, check it out, and see exactly what the capabilities are. And again, you can do kind of like enter this batch mode and create different templates and test them against each other, customize multiple templates against each other if you wanted to, and create them all. So I'm gonna submit a couple here to show you what that's like. Should just take a few seconds. Wonderful. And now I'm here. So I've created two videos. They're both going to load simultaneously. They should be ready in like 60 seconds, call it. And we can show you a couple of the community videos of how these turn out. So actually, I don't love that one. Better one. Can you guys hear the audio on these? Oh, okay. In that case, I will share the link in the chat instead. Up.
I really love how that addition of the customize has changed the abilities, because that was one of the things that I found a little challenging because of it just picked how to place your media, where and when, and how it, like the proportions and all of that. And you weren't able to do that, any sort of fixes, or even see where it was placed and the timing and all that, until just, yeah, I mean, that was really recent, that update. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger things that we worked on for a while. It actually took a significant amount of engineering work to make like a mini studio inside of
Yeah,
this tool
I bet.
that then you can use to go back and forth between this flow. Our engineers worked really hard on that, and I'm really glad that we shipped it. I think we did a really wonderful job. You can actually do a lot more in that studio than even I originally anticipated. For example, if you wanted to put in your own audio tracks, you could do that in the studio. If you wanted to put in your own animations and little stickers or whatever it might be, you can also edit all of that in the studio. So it gives you a lot of capabilities that I think, if the output that I'm about to show you, which I didn't do any real studio edits on, is, call it an 85% good output, which I strongly believe it is. It's like very good. You'll see it in a second. If that's an 85% output, then the finer studio adjustments should get you to like 95%. Should kind of fill the gap for the remainder of that quality. So I think it's going to vastly improve, specifically for people like Steve, actually. So I'm excited to show you that. It's going to vastly improve your experience in the reliability of the tool as well. So, okay, let me see if I can stop sharing and reshare so you can hear the audio as well.
Okay, and we do have a question. Does it sync the voice
Yeah.
script with the feature images, or can you do that? Lucian, do you want to ask that?
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
want to
curious-
expand on that question?
Just
Yeah.
curious, like certain images have feature benefits that they're talking about. Does the voiceover talk about those specific benefits that are in those photos? Or
Great
is that
question.
something that you need to do in the fine tuning of the last 15%?
Right. So it does not automatically appoint the right photos with the right text, if that's what you're asking. It basically takes from this list in order of priority of what you want to be shown. So actually this number one signifies that it has first priority to be shown. So above all other media, this is going to be the first one to be shown. And it goes in that order as well. So you can kind of make them at this stage, you can align them so that your script talks about certain items or certain features in a certain order. Or you can, at the editing stage in the studio, adjust exactly what it's saying and when the images are showing up. Did that answer your question, Lucian?
Yeah, thank you. So it sounds like in the studio section, you could move, you not just cropping, but you could actually move an image to another section.
Totally.
Great.
Yeah, you can completely customize the entire template, and it saves that customized template in that flow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll ever get to the point, because they are marked as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we could say, like in brackets or something, like marking image 1 or something 1, I would, I don't know, I probably would test it just to see if it already works. But yeah, in the customize, you could definitely do that, and even feature it again, I would imagine, because once you get to customize, I think you could duplicate or do other things in there as well. which before you couldn't do that or really even reorder them or anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
you're right. In
excited to
version
play with the
one,
customize. I'm like,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, in version one, there was very little customization, all the way to the point where you're right, you could not reorder the images
Yeah.
in set of priority. So we've made a lot of headway. This tool launched publicly 2 months ago. Well, actually, let me back up for a sec. It was an idea 2 months and 1 week ago. And in a meeting one day, we were like, is this possible? Can we do that? Can we make this process streamlined? And 8 days later, it was launched as a product because we were just so rushed to put it out. So V1 was definitely very rough. We just wanted to prove that we could actually do this and people would actually find it valuable. And as we've made progress over the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks or whatever, we've really been focusing on this. There's been a lot of different points where we've reached major inflection points in terms of optimizing this for reliability. And I think now we've passed so many different inflection points that this is becoming a very reliable tool, just not only for regular social content, but even in Steve's world of paid ads now, which I think has an even higher bar than if you're just going to post something on Instagram, right? So
I was also going
wanna
to say, I love the fact that you can do multiple types of videos because, they could all be the same. Sometimes having more influencer is better than having more pictures of the image, and sometimes vice
Right.
versa. So you create 3 or 4 different versions and then you test them all and see which one works best. So that's part of
Exactly.
the conversion rate that you want to look for is what is the optimal, amount of that, combination.
100%. So I want to show you this, and then I want to tell you if I were a paid ad specialist for a brand, what I would be thinking about in terms of this tool and the flow that I would consider. So, okay, you should be able to hear the audio. Let me know if you can't.
What if I told you cleaning can be a breeze? Meet the Dyson Ball Animal 3 Upright Vacuum Cleaner, the best ally for pet owners and anyone who wants a spotless home. With its detangling technology, it automatically clears hair from the brush bar as you clean. Got obstacles? No problem. Ball technology makes maneuvering around furniture a snap. Adapt to any mess with 3 cleaning modes and 2 specialized accessories designed for hard-to-reach spots. Ready to transform your cleaning game? Get yours today and see the magic in action. Brought to you by HeyGen.
Okay, so it's missing a little white background behind this Amazon logo there. But you totally get the point, right? It took me 2 minutes to actually go from URL to finished product there, and 2 different variations nonetheless. So okay, I'm gonna show you a little trick and then kind of explain the flow that I would consider. So here's the last little trick that not many people know about that I really should do a better job of telling people about. Is if you come into here and into the finished videos, into the generated videos, if you come into these 3 dots, you can actually edit as new, and it will take that video and it will take all of the selected media, the exact script you've already created, and allow you to recreate that exact video and tweak whatever you wanted to tweak, make different variations of that. So let me back up here and show you kind of what I would do. So let's say that this is my product, right? This Roku Express, and there are samples, by the way. You can click in here if you just want a URL to try. So let's say this product is the one that I'm trying out. It's the Roku Express. I am going to generate my first video. I'm going to generate my first video. I'm going to just skip the steps so I can get for speed here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use the other videos. So I generate the first video, make the script custom to whatever I thought was going to be right. I would enter batch mode and create different templates and different avatars. And then running them against each other and understanding what the performance is like between all the variations for my brand, because it's going to be different brand over brand. You want to double down on that, maybe that avatar specifically, maybe that template specifically, and create different variations of that. And what I would do is not only tweak the avatar and the template, whatever, I would also tweak the script a little bit and start to test script variables against each other and see if one hook performs differently against a different hook. And thankfully, that's all doable in a few minutes with this. I just showed you how you can take this, edit as new, and slightly create variations in the script and take this out and maybe add it to the top. Right? That's a totally new video that now you can test, and you already have the confidence of the performance based on the prior performance of the other videos. So we're trying to create this pretty advanced system where you can create 100 videos in a night if you wanted to, and really start to test them against each other. And that increase in output should give you superpowers in the paid ads world, as far as I'm concerned. And tell me what you think, Steve.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's a lot of what we do is testing hooks, especially. I mean, a lot of times the rest of your video can be almost identical, but that first 5 to 10 seconds in a video can be critical and get people to actually listen and stay tuned with the rest of the ads. So that's a fantastic feature to quickly duplicate those.
So
Yeah.
with that in mind, Steve, do you think this feature or this tool is helpful more in the space of the testing of ads, or it's helpful in all the areas of running video ads? And do you think that there is a difference between regular video ads and the AI generated ads?
So I think, and one of the keys that you have with this type of an ad with a URL to video is these are they work really well for product-based ads, especially because you're able to kind of show them off, plus have the avatar. And we know in the advertising world, UGC is huge. It's one of the best ways, and so it can be expensive to get somebody to actually do a UGC ad for you. This allows you to test very quickly some of the scripts. And now, long term, maybe you want somebody to actually do it, but you can test scripts and things like that really quickly, find out if it works, and then maybe send it out to some actual people to do it down the line. So this is a great way to test quickly, validate the idea, and then have somebody else actually do it maybe in live after that. Who knows? We may get to the point where the avatar version may outperform some physical people doing it, but for now, from a testing perspective, this just speeds that up very quickly, and then you can go and do additional testing on with broader applications.
And
Yeah,
we
I
did
really
have
like
Totally
that
agree.
idea. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say Alana had a question too, and I know we've discussed this before. Can you change the avatar's tone of voice, make it faster, slower, warmer, friendlier, more excited? And we have asked the same thing if we could do that, and I'm guessing the answer is still not yet.
So actually,
Oh,
check this out. So now that we have this kind of customizable template, and you can come in here into this mini studio and edit everything specifically, you can come into the script setting, and actually you can adjust the speed, you can adjust the pitch if you wanted to, you can adjust the volume, you can split up different sentences by splitting up different text like this. Or there's another trick that we use internally, like having 3 dots around parentheses for like the tiniest of pauses. That gives you a little bit of a good hint there. There's different things you can do, and actually every generation you create will be slightly different from each other just based on how the AI works. So you could generate the exact same video with the exact same script twice, and it might come out with a slightly different tone each time. So if you're really unhappy with the script, I might do something like this, like stop scrolling. Or if you have a word that really needs pronunciation, you can come in here, double click, and add pronunciation for performance, and see exactly how that'll work. So there's other smaller tweaks that you can now have within this customized studio. For example, if you wanted to completely change the language or have a new script written or do any of the things that you can do in the typical studio, add an element, add some text, you can do all those things as well. So yes, the short answer is yes, you can now have a little bit more control over the speed, the tone, the emphasis of certain words or not. And you can slightly play with those. Are they completely in your control? Not exactly, but we're still working on that as well. It's the deeper black box.
Thank you, because we asked this question last week, just for context. We asked this question
Oh,
last
Nicole,
week.
I don't think I hear you.
Oh,
Maybe it's
you
me.
can hear me? Okay.
Oh, I can hear you.
And
Yeah.
the answer was that we couldn't do it. And this is how fast HeyGen is moving and how open they are to feedback and why we're having this session. And so if there's anything that you're like, I really want it to do this, and this is preventing me from using it, or it's making it not usable for my ads or for my training, this is why we wanted to host the conversation, because HeyGen is eager for feedback and to see what everybody's using or need in their use of it. And so I appreciate you being here for this conversation, because that was last week, it was a no. And this week it's like, hey, here we go. It's moving very fast.
We move fast. It is insane how quickly this company moves. Last thing I wanted to show you in here, because I know it was also a topic, is if you have your own avatar, you can. So this is an avatar I created. I created it of somebody else. But if you have your own avatar on your profile, you can add your own avatar into these as well. So if you hire an actor to do a shoot once, you can create an avatar of them and now have them do a million different videos with slightly different variations. So we're really trying to close the gap on even the person in the video that you see, what exactly the possibilities of that are. So I can show you with, for example, the same template that we just used for the other avatar.
Streaming with Roku Express
still looks pretty
4K
solid,
Plus.
even
Imagine
with
crystal clear
a totally
4K
custom
and
avatar
HDR.
with different framing. So there, and again, you can slightly customize each and every one of these and kind of go into it deeper. But that's the last thing I wanted to show you guys. Is I think that's a whole product overview. Now you know everything that's possible.
That's really cool. And when you're using your own avatar, does it have to be done in a specific way? Because some of theirs are walking, some of theirs are sitting. Can you create different, should you create different versions so that you can do those different types of videos?
Yes. So I want to show you in the new instant avatar flow when you're creating a new avatar.
So we only
now
need
there
2
are
minutes of
still avatars you can create,
I'm so
or
excited
motion
that you're
avatars
going-
you can create, and they're slightly tweaked models depending on which one you choose. So there are demos and examples for both, where it gives you a little demo
need a 2-minute
of how
video
to
of you
record a
talking
video
to
like
train
this,
our
the tips and
AI.
tricks to keep
For the
in mind.
you can
And
talk
there's
about
also a
anything.
demo video for this one. So you can be moving, you can be still. It doesn't actually matter for the UGC style, influencer style videos that we've captured. We've got some moving, some still, some in a car, some outside, some in a gym. So we're trying to add more of these scenes and scenarios to further make that more usable for different use cases.
Yeah, those are great, especially making your own and just being able to put out all that content, ads, everything.
Totally. So, okay, I went over a lot. I'm sure there's some more questions out there.
Could you talk a little bit about fine tuning, and does that affect voice, or is it just the image?
Good question. My best advice actually is don't do the fine tune right now. Fine tuning has been historically something that we've done manually. That's why it was so much to improve the quality of the outputs. Our tech is now getting so good that it is competing with a manual fine tune at a very high rate. So what that means is we're probably going to sunset fine tuning in the very near future and just let everybody go with the newest models that we've created.
Okay, thank you. I mean, there's
Good
such
question.
a big difference of the latest avatars that we've created from the first avatars that we created. It's a massive difference.
Thank you.
Question.
I'm so excited about how it's been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see this vertical square ratio question. Great question. At this very moment, with URL to ads, it is not possible to go into other ratio sizes. They're just vertical videos because we're really focused on making sure that we can provide great Instagram Reels and great TikTok ads and great YouTube Shorts content. And as soon as we are really confident we can do that, we'll start to move into other platforms and use cases as well. But right now, that's kind of where our focus has been. Although I will say, if you try, for example, the instant highlights tool, that does allow you to take a longer piece of content and chop it up into different sizes, different aspect ratios. So there might be a way for you to like take one video and import it into the other. That might work.
What do you find is the advantage, besides the obvious making it really fast and easy by putting in a URL and having it write the script and everything? Because you could go in there and create another video that is a different shape or size, and you could just do it all yourself and link it to the URL to the product. Is there an advantage to building it URL to video? Is there a back end or some sort of other advantage to that besides just the speed of building it?
Yeah, so I think the main two, as you hit on, are speed and cost, right? Like going from coordinating to shooting to editing to figuring out which variations you're going to use of those final edits, the multi-week process.
Yeah.
To go from multi-week to a few minutes is pretty crazy. So that's definitely the biggest single value that we've seen. And that being the true for the cost as well. For going from, paying hundreds of dollars per piece of content from UGC creator, now you're going to like $2 a video, sometimes less. So it definitely competes in price and speed that make it worth it, even if the quality isn't 100% the exact same yet.
For sure.
So just on that sense, I think that it stands a good ground in terms of the competition it has.
Yeah, and that alone is enough,
Yep.
right? And not to even make that seem
Yeah.
small. I'm just wondering, like, on a technical aspect, if there's
Yeah.
anything that makes it better or
From
not. I don't know.
from my experience in talking to all the customers, and actually, to be quite honest, I'm hoping you guys can tell me that answer because I want to hear for what is valuable from you guys. But I'll tell you from my experience, it really depends on who you are. If you are like Steve and your life revolves around optimization of these assets, then hopefully I'm making Steve's life way easier. My goal is to save Steve multiple hours every week, and all of a sudden he can provide better services to his clients, and that's our goal, is to take people that are more on the analytical side, on the data side, and enable them to now create variations. Now you don't even need the content team really. So I think there's like a lot of skips in middlemen happening that enable a much faster and tighter feedback loop. Yeah, so it really depends on who you are is the answer. If you're like Steve and you are a data person, you're in the numbers, then the variables are really the biggest selling point, right? The fact that you can create multiple assets with different templates, different avatars, different scripts, slightly tweaking for performance in minutes is hopefully a very valuable prospect.
Yeah, and I really liked that idea earlier. I think Steve said it, about even if you planned on hiring a real person later, testing out what was going to work and then giving that script to the person. It was kind of like when we first started talking about AI generated images and people were upset about photographers and that product photography and other kinds of photography, they were testing out images of their products first that weren't as high res as what they were gonna get from the photographer to then inform the photographer exact images that they wanted. And that also could be what you're doing with these AI generated videos, is testing before you actually produce, which is
That's another thing that we've heard be very valuable for example, the drop shipper who maybe doesn't have a whole lot of supply of the physical products themselves, but does have a ton of media. They've got a lot of photos and a lot of videos, and usually they're on the hook for creating their own stuff, which means buying a sample, waiting for it, producing the content, editing, the whole process. So now you can just take that media that you already have and hopefully end up with a very solid video in a matter of a few minutes rather than, multi-weeks again.
We've got a couple of suggestions, questions, but I know it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
there at the moment, but the ability to put something in about your audience as well as your brand and style and have a voice that's reflective of that in
Yes.
terms of tone, the kind of language, and that we know it would resonate with that particular audience.
Yes. Don't tell anybody I told you, but what I'll say is we're very focused on that.
Excellent. Very cool.
And for now, you've probably learned how to do that in the course, so you could just take it out and put it back in to the script, right? If you're a student in one of our classes.
Yeah, honestly, and another thing is please email me your feedback. And if you email me your feedback, I will give you free credits. It could not be a better deal.
There you go.
So I'm just Devin at HeyGen. I'll put my email in the chat here.
Thanks, Devin.
Yes, shoot me a
Yeah,
message.
awesome.
I am available if you have any questions, concerns, feedback, comments, problems. I'm here for it all. Please let me know.
I'd love to see a little bit of the video. Mackenzie, do you have some that you would be willing to share
Yeah.
what you've created?
Sure. So,
Say-
like I said, we're using it more for content creation on the learning side than testing and ads, but like I do want to get there. But yeah, we've been using it mainly through content creation. So I'll show you one of the first ones we made, specifically for like our Spanish speaking audience.
Yeah. Cuando el latido del corazón
So
o la
just taking
respiración de
our
alguien se han detenido.
original normal CPR content,
Ahora puede que
and then we're
pienses,
able to
yo no soy un profesional sanitario.
that's our
Es
avatar,
realmente algo que pueda
put in
una
our
reanimación cardiopulmonar.
imagery that
Puedes
we've already
bajar la
filmed
frecuencia
or
entre la vida y la
comes from
desesperación.
Canva,
Se trata de
place it in
ofrecer
here,
solo la
with an
voluntad de dar un
avatar,
paso adelante.
and then some of our regular course content. We've been able to make it a little bit more engaging by like having a talking head basically with the video behind,
Cool.
instead of what typically used to be really just like PowerPoint based slides. And this is actually faster than the old videos that we used to make that were a lot more boring, I would say. So we're kind of in the process of, we have over 200 video assets of changing them all and updating them with a mixture of Canva and HeyGen.
Very cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Those look great.
Paula, if you listen or when you watch, thank you very much. It was all of her work on our team and creating these. I'm excited for her to watch this recording so she can see. I didn't know about all of those, like that. Anything that you showed recently, I didn't know that HeyGen now did. So I think if she doesn't already know about it, we'll definitely be using that a lot more for like content creation instead of just like avatar creation.
Totally. I'm excited for that. I'm very curious if you guys are in the paid ads world, if this is going to be something you start to implement. And if you're not in the paid ads world, is this something you consider for just social media posts, for just your Instagram feed or your TikTok feed?
Yeah, for us, we're in paid ads for sure, but we only do images because video is just, it's really hard to make. It's expensive to make. We're not sure it's going to work, but the cost of it really goes down if you're using this tool.
Yeah.
Andrew, I loved your idea of like, it's so hard for us to get a medical expert in a room to film. Like I have a project that we've been waiting on 8 months for the medical professionals to get access to the room and the equipment to film something.
Oh my
I
gosh.
do still need that portion of real hands-on like medical activity.
Yeah.
But this in the interim of like, I at least can get the timing down and the spacing down so they can see that and then film it instead of them pacing it out by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, if you even wanted to, you could get an actual footage of that room, if that is an actual room, and just put it behind the avatar.
I do have an image of it. That's true. Yeah, I do have that already. It's
Yeah.
there they are.
Look at that. HeyGen saving lives.
Is it possible to use animated avatars like branded characters? So at the moment, if you try to upload something animated, it will just outright reject it. And the truth of the matter is that a 2D animation, like a flat animation, think The Simpsons, just will not work. If you have something that's a little bit more 3D, so think like more recent Pixar character, that actually has a better chance at working with the model, but it's very unpredictable as to how well it's going to work. So we've kind of stayed away from animated anything actually, just until we can get the reliability of that to be better. But you're going to see something in the next 10 days, give or take, that will include a sneak peek at what we're doing for animated stuff.
Very cool. And you can also create an avatar though, right inside of HeyGen if you wanted to do something. So
Totally.
I created an animation of myself and I made it in the style of Pixar. It was like a Pixar mom with short blonde hair. And so then I
Nice.
created that in there. I also uploaded the picture of Barbie that, you can make yourself a Barbie. That was an AI thing that was going around. I uploaded that and made a video of it too. So we've been playing with some of the different things it can do. And yeah, it's not as good as the people. It's just kind of fun to play with right now.
Yeah. One more thing I actually do want to show you, if you don't mind. Where's my screen? There we go. Okay, can you see my screen? If you go to the HeyGen website, so you're logged in the app, definitely play with all the tools. They're all very interesting and quite good at what they do. But you'll come down here and see this labs tab. This is basically my job now. I live in this tab. I am working on all the stuff that you see in here. So maybe one of you doesn't know that we have a ChatGPT plugin where you can do a lot of stuff, or a Canva app where you can take your avatars directly into Canva. We are beta testing some new stuff. This is something that's not out yet. In fact, if you log in, you won't see it on your profile. But there's new stuff coming, and I highly encourage you to just come in and check these out and see how they might be beneficial for you guys. For example, I have a very good feeling about these two, but I'll show you this one. Do we have a second? Can I show this one off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So this one's called personalized video, and it's actually really simple. It basically is a way to, en masse, personalize a video in an email to, let's say, your email list. So if you have a 100,000 person email list, or if you want to personally thank every new customer that buys a new product, or if you want to set up a flow on the monthly anniversary of their buying a product, they get some notification, whatever it might be, you can start a project in here. There's so many different possibilities in here. You can show their website like on a per contact basis. You can upload a specific image. You can highlight their first name in the video. So I'll just show you an example of how this works because it's nuts to me. You can import contacts from wherever. I'm just gonna go with some samples. You can add more fields, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of this, do this. I will show you. Gonna pick a video. Oh, actually, I have a testing. There we go. So just upload a video. It's going to transcribe my entire video and then allow me to input variables into the video, which just mind blowing to me. Oh, man, okay, I don't want to do this right now, so I guess I'm not going to. But it lets you change the word "Hey everyone" to "Hey first name," and then you can send out 1,000 emails from your custom domain now. So you just trigger your DNS settings to include our email servers, and then everything can be sent from your personal domain. So there's like all these tools that we're working on that are very low key still, that we're going to start publicizing more. In fact, we just created a @HeyGen Labs X account if you want to go follow us there. And a lot of this new stuff is going to be up on there, and it's all really exciting if you ask me. Like there's a lot of very impressive things in the pipeline right now.
Yeah. Thank you for showing that. I could see everybody's faces that are on video, and they're pretty excited about that one. I want to show you just real
Awesome.
quick the animated one. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is, but this is one that I did. Oops. Oh, I can edit it too. I just meant to play it. But I created it from,
Oh, if you go into AI Studio, it's going to be over there. This is the avatar itself.
oh yeah. Oh, where did it go?
It should be in video. Yeah. somewhere there.
These are so funny.
Get
Oh my
ready
gosh.
for the power of AI. It's not just something you find in sci-fi movies anymore.
Anyways, that's the AI Barbie version of me.
Not
when
bad,
I
actually.
But notice
uploaded.
the date on that too. You have to say that because that was November of
It's a while ago.
2023.
Yeah, and
so
this
don't
one
judge
was-
it by that.
Yeah, this one was September.
This is a Pixar style mom. You can create images of your team, friends, and family and use these images for promo, training, birthday messages, or just for fun.
Yeah, and that was made
So
last
we've got
September.
this tool that you just showed me is the talking photo tool, right? And there actually hasn't been a big update to talking photo since you used it. There's been some performance upgrades, but there hasn't been like a leap forward in talking photo.
Yeah.
And maybe I should break some news that in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna have a dramatic update to talking photo, and it's going to be next level from the demos that I'm seeing. So
Oh,
definitely keep your eye out for that as well.
very cool.
Personalized videos be sent out and scheduled. Yes. It's such a good tool. It's literally insane. I'm not personally in charge of it, but it's a very, very impressive tool. Streaming avatar is very exciting. There's going to be some cool news updates there soon.
Yeah, I can't wait to test that one and play with it.
Yeah.
If you go into streaming avatar today, we just added something last night, and if you see it, you'll know that you saw it. Maybe go check it out.
Okay.
I think anybody else have any questions that I missed? I think I've answered most of these.
Yeah, I think so. I think Steve, did you have a little bit more insight on AI videos versus human videos and what some of those stats are?
Yeah, so in terms of stats, I'll tell you, and I kind of, I hate to tell this to him, but I used a competitor version of this as well, and yeah, the URL to video, and we actually got some sales off it. It was for a supplement company, although I will say from what I've seen, we're going to be switching over to HeyGen, so the avatars are much crisper. Steve. So yeah, but that's what they had available at the time, you know. But yeah, the avatars are much crisper. It definitely works, right? So just in terms of video overall, you get a much higher click-through rate in general with video. Now, I will say, when we tried it with Nicole's and Andrea's version, it didn't work as well in our original testing. What it did work well for was our for the retargeting. And I think part of that is just because once they've already seen an ad, especially knowing that it's for AI, they expect to see an AI type of thing, right? So it made sense for them to see that. For the original ad, it didn't work as well up front. So we had to come back to it with a different angle. Overall, the stats, though, like I say, for videos are impressive. The earlier generations of some of these avatars and such, where the video didn't sync quite right with the lips and things, people could tell that, and they just kind of, they didn't want to necessarily engage with it. The more I've seen them though recently, and the better they get to look more human, more synced up and everything, the better those numbers are becoming. I talked a little bit about testing earlier, and one of the things you can do is don't just take 100 of these ads and throw them into a $100 a day campaign or anything. What you can do is go throw them out into just a video views campaign. So under engagement, and I'm talking Facebook here for those that are familiar with advertising, you throw them into a video ads or video view campaign under engagement, and just see what kind of engagement you get with them, right? You're going to be able to run many of these for very, very cheap. $5 can get you a lot of video views, and just see which ones actually generate the most video views and how long they actually stay engaged. That way you can really tell, is this working or not? And then you can go move it into other higher quality leads or purchase type of an ad. And so don't just waste your money in the top end right away. Test a lot of these, and I love the fact that you can spit them out very, very quickly, and then go test just to see which ones actually work, which ones people actually care about and will engage with. Once you figure that out, then you can move them into higher quality traffic. The same thing happens with TikTok. The same thing happens with pretty much any advertising network out there that does video. They've got lower quality traffic that you can kind of test with originally, and then move them into higher quality after that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. All right.
I love to hear that you're getting use out of it, Steve.
Oh, yes.
We really had people like you in mind when we were creating all these features, so it makes me happy.
I'll be testing more for sure.
Awesome.
And we'll be
Awesome.
making more. So.
Yes.
Is anybody here not buying paid ads? Okay, everybody here is buying paid ads. That's great. So yes, I'm very, very curious to hear how all of you guys do. Please hit me up with your numbers. I would love to see that data. I'm dying for it. And because this is also recent, like this customize button just went in 6 days ago. We're still pretty new on like finding partners to be able to run these ads. So we have one brand that I know of for sure that is running actual UGC against this AI generated UGC in their paid ads. And they're seeing a not huge drop off in performance, is the quote that I was given. So that's pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So
and that
I'm
doesn't surprise
excited
me.
to see
Like,
if you guys see.
Yeah, like I say, with the quality to where it is now, that makes a huge difference. So yeah.
I think it does. And especially with the final customizations that you can do with the new version, I think that's going to make a big difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to do some more testing next week. I already got some ideas during this, not necessarily on the Facebook advertising, but in another area. So I'll update you on that, because we've got some ideas for one of our clients and how we're going to do that. So I think another area will do really well. So
I'm guessing it's probably in Pinterest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
That's an area. Yeah, we do a lot in Pinterest because it's great.
That's super interesting. You said that to me once, and I was like, "Whoa, I did not expect that really." But wow, really smart.
Yeah, I mean, our Pinterest page gets somewhere around 130,000 views a month.
Holy crap! Wow.
Just for our AI page.
That's just organic. That actually is low for us, and that's what it's at right now. It did do sort of a tank, and we figured out why. So we will be updating our training. This is for all our students listening.
Yeah.
Pinterest has changed. I think they figured out that other people had figured out how to get found and all the tricks. So things have changed, and we have figured it out where that is today, and we'll continue to watch that and figure it out. But we will be updating our training on that as well. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
They changed their algorithm, and so we had to change how we interact with it. Oh yeah, Lisa, you'll probably want to know about that too. Because you're big on Pinterest, but they've definitely made some fundamental changes, and so we had to change our strategy around it. We should chat about that later. Maybe we can have a session on Pinterest, but it's a really important, whether you're B2B or B2C, it's so important for search, for SEO. And all the videos that that we're creating can go over onto Pinterest too.
Easily.
'Cause
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have
I-
a quick,
yeah.
in general, like how transparent do you need to be that you're using AI and avatars? You know, it's glorious to hear, like we now can do our own influencers, right?
Yeah.
But do you dilute your credibility? Is there any legal behind it?
Good questions. So I would say that as of right now, there are very few actual guidelines as to how to do all this stuff. So we're kind of just, from a moral standpoint, trying to think about what to do and what's best. So we have agreements with all of these actors. We've paid all of them, and they've given us the license to allow us to put them on the platform. So all of the avatars that you see are actual actors that get hired through HeyGen. I think that as far as like a branding perspective goes, that this is one of several touch points, hopefully, that the consumer has with your brand. And maybe it's the one that converts, but maybe it's just the one that kind of stays in their head. Either way, I think that as long as it's not blatantly AI, that it's going to be okay. And now with the quality that we're at, we are getting a much more reliable, realistic figure. And I think that the faster that gets to a even more human-like figure, the better that we'll continue to be doing.
Yeah, some of the social networks do require you to disclose when you're using AI. That's part of the posting now.
Yeah, we've gotten some heads up from users that are posting on like TikTok and Instagram, both of which have said that we do need to be careful about like how we're posting. But again, like these are all very murky guidelines for now, and so there's not a black and white rule book to be following just yet.
Yeah, we always recommend just being transparent and putting it out there, and that way you're always covered. And so I did put some links in the chat to our policy that we have on our website. Then also another mastermind we did with an actual tech lawyer who did our AI policy workshop that we had about this subject particularly. And although the laws haven't come to the US, they've already passed them in other countries and they will be coming. So it's things you should be aware of now. You might as well be following the guidelines from the beginning. So you can get some more information there.
And one thing I would note is every state is a little bit different too. So like California, if you're using AI chatbots, for instance, you do have to actually disclose that it's an AI chatbot. If you're doing AI video, or not video calls, but AI calls or something like that, again, you have to announce that in certain states, California being the main one. So you just have to, as an advertiser, I'm always kind of trying to look at what the different states require because there are differences in some of them.
My thought is, why wouldn't you want to, especially in the case of bots? What was the company? It was one of the airlines had to end up selling some, huge airline ticket for some really low price because the person was able to get the bot to tell them it was like $200 when really it should have been like, I don't know, 5,000 or something to that.
It was, yeah, it was Air Canada. And so this is why the states won't actually matter if you follow the global guidelines and the most stringent guidelines that are out there. And that's what we talk about with our lawyer. And sometimes he comes on to the masterminds because we want to know what best practices are. So like with email, we want to be GDPR compliant, even though it's not necessary. We have different rules in Canada than the US, but if we're GDPR compliant, then we're compliant with everybody around the world. And most likely, whatever laws come into effect in the US or Canada, then we're covered. And we have been covered this whole time and we don't have to worry about what we're doing retroactively. That's why we use the AI use policy and just kind of best practices and disclose it everywhere that we use it. Because cleaning up these messes can just be super tedious too. And with what we've been using AI since 2015. So in our case, like people expect that we're using it and we don't try to hide it for anything. Some industries, it might be frowned upon more than others. But we will definitely default to kind of the most conservative stance. And we're very liberal in our use of AI, like very liberal in our use. Yeah. My 2 cents. Very passionate about it.
I'd say those are pretty good 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're over time now, so I want to be respectful of your time. I'm sure you've got some more meetings coming up, and I'm sure that you are going to hear from people who were here today.
I'm excited.
Yeah, they're going to want credits, and I'm sure they'll have more to say about how they're using HeyGen. Yeah, so thank you for being here, and thanks everybody for showing up. And we'll continue the conversation. So look for, I mean, if you want to come back when you've got some new stuff to show us, we'd be happy to have you back too, and we can let everybody know.
I will have new stuff often, so definitely check back at HeyGen, and I would love to be back for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Y'all are
Thanks,
awesome.
Lisa.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.